Hello everyone, welcome back to this lecture. In this lecture, we will be working on constructors and destructors. So let's start. C++ constructor. What do you mean by constructor over here? Constructor doesn't mean that we are constructing a building over here. In this, we will be using an object that is being automatically called using a constructor. A class constructor is a special member function of a class that is executed whenever we create a new object of that class. So means whenever you create an object, a constructor is being called. A constructor will have exact same name as the class, and it does not have any return type or not even a void. So a constructor is always having a same name as the class, and it does not have any return or a void type. We have two types of constructors, default constructor and a parameterized constructor. So in default constructor, we are not passing any values, it is just a default constructor, where in a parameterized constructor, we will be passing some arguments. So let me show you some of the examples in a code blocks. So I have included the header files. Now I will be creating a class as employee, in which I will be using a public keyword so that the outside variables can call the class member functions and variables. So how do we create a constructor? It should be similar to the class, in which I will be putting the bracket. So this is a constructor has been created. So in this I will be passing some arguments like cout the constructor has been started. So this is what I will be printing, and this will be end of a line. Okay, so I will be creating integer main function right now, in which I will be creating an object employee e1 and employee e2. So I have created two objects. Okay, so I will be compiling and running the program. So you can see I have created two objects and I haven't called any of the functions from the main. So the constructor had been automatically involved. So the constructor had been started and the constructor had been started because I have created two objects over here. So the constructor has been called two times. Similarly, I will be showing you the parameterized constructor. So I will be creating a class employee, in which I will be putting public so that all the variables can be accessed. I will be creating an integer ID and I will be creating a string having a name. Okay, and I will be creating a float as a salary. Okay, now I will be creating a constructor right now. So the constructor should be similar to the name of a class employee, in which I will be mentioning the data types integer, that should be I. The variables could be anything, the string should be n, and the float should be s, in which we will be printing, I will be showing that id is equal to I, where the name should be equal to n and salary should be equal to s. Okay, now I will be creating another function, that is a void display function, to display on the screen. So in which I will be cout id name salary, end of the line. Okay, Now I will be creating an integer main function. So right now I will be creating an object E1 which is equal to, right now I will be passing the arguments to the constructor. So it will be, first of all was an ID, then it was name, edutainer, then I will be passing, this should be in a comma so that because it's a string, and I will be passing the salary. Okay, so I have created a single object in which I will be passing the values, or you can say the arguments, for the constructor. Now using the object I will be calling the display function, so to display. So let's compile and run the program. So you can see that first of all I got the ID, then I got the name, and then I got the value. The value is in garbage value, so I will be, it's in float, so I can change this thing like this thing, and now I will be again compiling it. Oh yeah, over here you can see. Similarly, I can create multiple objects, like multiple objects have been created. I can create multiple objects or n number of objects, it depends upon you. So I will be compiling and running the program again. Okay, the object should be of different. So whenever the object is being created, a constructor will be called. Sorry, let me compile and run the program. Okay, there is a, okay, sorry, I am called the display function for this, e2.display. So now I will be again compiling the program to display. So you can see the number of objects have been created 2 times, so the constructor has been called 2 times. Destructor. A destructor works opposite to constructor. It destructs the object of classes. It can be defined only once in a class. Like constructor, it is evolved automatically. So a destructor is totally opposite to the constructor. So it will help us to delete, or it could destruct the objects that have been created in the class. A destructor is defined like constructor. It must have same name as a class but is prefixed with a tilde sign. So before the class name, we can say destructor name, a sign should be mentioned. This is a tilde sign. Okay, so let's move to code block so that I can show you an example. So I will be creating a class as employee, in which I will be using the public so that the variables can be accessed. Public. I will be creating a constructor employee, in which I will be printing cout, hey, I am constructor, end of line. Okay, now I will be creating a destructor. Destructor should have a first tilde sign, then same employee name as a class, in which I will be writing cout, hey, I am destructor. Okay, end of line. Now after this I will be creating a integer main function. Okay, in this main function I will be creating an object E1. Okay, so let's compile the program and run it. So you can see that first the object was created, the constructor wrote call, then after that a destructor was called. Okay, so destructor helps us to delete or destruct the object that we have created. Thank you.